Hello, and welcome to a new series, this time focused on the moon. Please subscribe to the channel, share this video and any within the series with your friends and loved ones. Comment beneath, like the video, and turn on the notification bell so you can hear when I release new things. Please send me an email if you would like to have a personal reading of your birth chart. This is my great passion and I love doing it, so thank you so much for tuning in. It brings me so much joy to share this amazing art science with you during this new Aquarian age that we're in. The moon is at home in Cancer and at home in the 4th house, so these are themes of family, mother, home, the heart, emotions. So I hope you enjoy this exploration. Hello, Cancer Moon. Hello. Have to have some water if I'm going to address this topic. So this is someone who can handle their emotions. Believe it or not, this is someone who can handle very strong emotions and in fact needs them. There's a lack of satisfaction with comfort. This is quite the opposite energy of a Taurus moon. And it's interesting that the home of the moon is in Cancer. And yet, the emotional experience, at least from the outside, looks much more smooth than at home in Taurus. But this is the nature of the moon. It's change. It's cardinal water. It's moving with the tides. It's coming in and it's going out. It's happy with something. Half an hour later, indifferent. Half an hour later, loathing. And then back again. And for others to understand you, there needs to be a comprehension of this fact of change, and people trying to hold you accountable for things that you said when you were in one emotional state. You can kind of come with a disclaimer above your head. You know, I have a Cancer moon. I need to feel everything and express everything and all of the different bits in between. And I'm not sure necessarily if I identify with any of them in the end. And why do I need to? Why are you trying to make me have an opinion on something and stick to it? When it's something that's evolving and something that is shifting, and maybe it feels good one day and then it doesn't the next, and that's fine. And the emotional state being so highly judged by the rest of the world means that this can be very tricky to accept within yourself, because no doubt you've been judged for your erratic emotions from birth, and people were probably very worried about you. And you're simply expressing everything that you were seeing and feeling, and it would come and manifest in a sort of prolonged way. Like, why can't she get over this? Why can't he get over this? Why is it lingering so long? The lingering is not a problem if it is true, and it's a true wave. This is the emotional wave that is slow and steady, and you don't know where you are in the peak, you know, in the ups and the downs of something. It takes time. They say, you know, you need to wait a lunar cycle before you make a big decision if you have this kind of a placement, because you need to feel 360 degrees of situation before you make a decision. It's not a snapshot, quick, easy breezy, done. This is, no, you haven't considered this and this and this, not mentally but emotionally. There's all the different aspects to consider. It's highly empathic. The trouble is when there's another layer put on top of that, which is judgment, self-judgment for being an emotional being, for being highly sensitive, for being highly feminine, even if you're a man, maybe especially if you're a man, and for needing time. Time is of the essence. We live in a very Capricornian structured society, and as a Cancer moon you need time, you need space, and you need to be able to be free, to be able to feel what you need to feel without having to have a time frame for that. It takes as long as it takes, and that's it. There's no need to shift and make yourself small, or make yourself, there's no need to cater to those around you, there's no need to cater to the emotional states of others. What there is a need to do is to take responsibility for your own emotions, and to take responsibility for the fact that they are not anyone else's fault. And there can be such a big story with Cancer in any placement, especially with the moon, that wants to label the emotions and put them in boxes. And people sometimes think that the processing is about labeling the emotions, when it is literally just feeling them, crying them out, letting them go, crying them out, letting them go. A Cancer moon from birth has likely been told, right, look, probably it's had its emotions try to be suppressed and restricted. Maybe that's happened to you. Maybe it's not been possible because the emotions are so strong. So the caregiver may have said, look, if you're going to feel all this stuff, at least get to the root of it. Let me fix this. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel so rubbish? What's your reason for this? Why are you crying? It's your birthday, for God's sake. All of this kind of attitude towards emotion that makes you go, right, I need to sit back in my mind and analyze this. And then inevitably judgment doesn't help emotion, it doesn't help it go, it helps it prolong and stay, and then you get stuck in that rut of cyclical feeling. Every human being ultimately is an emotional being that should be feeling 24 hours a day, thinking when it needs to, 10% of the day, to make specific decisions. The rest of the time it's sort of an automatic process, and we can just move from an emotional place that is truly feeling, and we can then see the richness within the emotion. And when it comes to analysing it, it's not analysing it in terms of, oh, and that reminds me of this trauma I had when I was 6, and it must be the same thing because of he has ginger hair and my dad had ginger hair, and no, it's much more. No, life is this rich. It is this rich and deep and profound, and there's no rule about how you feel. It's not birthday cake equals smiles and happiness. No, I feel what I feel, can't explain it, and it just is what it is. And it sort of then acts as a catalyst to trigger other people who maybe have an expectation, and they can see their own expectation. You can see in yourself when you're forcing yourself to smile and you don't want to. Very, very, very sad for a Cancer moon, because they can do that very well, because there is a shape-shifting tendency, an empathic thing where you feel someone else's emotion and therefore you can just imitate it, and you don't believe it, and it's not true to how you deeply feel. It's just something that you feel in your surroundings. It's the elephant in the room. No one likes it, the Cancer moon. No one likes to be around it because it draws attention to all the things that we don't want to look at collectively as a society. And it also draws attention to the mother and our relationship with mother and our relationship to the nurturing feature. The mother also, there's an idea that a mother should be sacrificing. The emotions don't ask you to sacrifice, they ask you to just let them be and let them go. So we need to look at how we have labelled mother and how we have identified mother as being weak and all things soft and fragile and flimsy, where there can be an emotional fortitude in being with the emotion in all of its fullness, all of its ferocity, all of its deliciousness, all of its potency, everything, totally, and not dimming to fit in, not just picking up the emotions of another person and taking that on because it feels a bit more comfortable than having to go through this turmoil, but just sitting with whatever emotion is there. So it takes a very evolved soul to be able to use this and to stick with this, because it's a lifelong job. This is your job, you know, if you're wondering why you hate it, like, this is your job. It's mastering emotion, not through suppression, but through allowing them all to waft through you, wave through you, without identifying with them, without trying to pin them down, certainly without attaching a story. Can you imagine how tiring that is? Like, I can imagine if you have this placement, there's an issue with chronic fatigue and constant exhaustion and headaches, because every emotion you're feeling, you're trying to categorize and pin a post-it note on with, then, or one of those scrolls. It's a scroll attached to this one emotion about what it could mean, when you could have just picked it up on the bus, But the way emotion works, it's not like a disease that you pick up. It's you felt it from someone else and it resonated within you because you felt this emotion before. It's a trauma that's been unhealed, so you feel it again. And if you don't address it, if you distract yourself with a story, then it will still be there, and the next time someone else around you triggers that or is having that, and which also triggers that in you, you won't know what to do with it. And oh no, not you again. Like, we don't need to be a victim of our emotions. You can really see yourself and your moon as one and the same. And it's very good to look at the other aspects of your chart and see what they think of your moon, and do they find it all too much, and is it inconvenient for them, or is it something that's really going to benefit having a richer and fuller experience of life. Maybe you're a Capricorn and you have a Cancer moon, Can you make space for that? Can you, okay, you need a category, you need an agenda, you need a time scale, okay, but can you schedule in times per day where you're really going to let yourself feel? Writing is really, really good. Journaling is really, really good. Painting is extremely good. This is a very creative space. And also to create a safe container for yourself. So a safe relationship where you can feel all these things, both within yourself and with your external, the people close to you. Why torture yourself with very, very, very volatile people who don't want to evolve themselves towards love? Really just use the Capricorn element, or whichever more masculine part of you that you have, to set the framework of, okay, this is what I want from life, and yeah, my ultimate goal is love, and to live in love and to be happier and to feel much nicer emotions. But in terms of getting there, I accept, I surrender. And it's not surrender like hands at white flag. It's I'll go with you on this journey. Okay, I trust you, moon. I trust what you're going to show me. And you can see this if you observe yourself. I highly recommend keeping a moon calendar and seeing what happens when it changes every 2 days, seeing how you feel, seeing the different phases of the moon and how they affect you, and then zooming out from yourself. And this is not an intellectualization of an emotional story. This is on a Thursday I felt these things, and on the Friday I felt very different. Interesting. And then the mind is then used as something much more helpful rather than adding extra. It's more used as an observation tool, which will say, well, so the next time you come at a very strong emotion, you say, yep, but Tuesday I didn't feel this way, and I know that tomorrow I will feel different, so I can actually face this fully and experience this fully. And even if no one else around you understands what you are doing, or what is happening to you, you are doing this incredible energetic work, this mastery, you are this magician with emotion. And then you will see, the more you purify your own emotions and your own intention, and the more willing you are to see, feel, explore these strong emotions, the nicer they will be, and the less time you'll need to spend on them when they come. And then when you're in a situation with other people, you'll be up there with the Taurus moon in the groundedness, but I find it richer groundedness because you've experienced absolutely everything else deeply, very deep, profoundly, and this is the ultimate mother. You then become the grandmother, the sage, the crone, the wisest woman, who, even as a man, who's experienced the world in this incredibly feminine, deep, and constantly changing and shifting. But as its cardinal energy, it's always moving forward. It's like a jellyfish. It's like a crab. It's swimming back forward, but you go more forward than you do back. So surround yourself with beautiful things and beautiful people, and then let yourself feel. And until you really give yourself this permission, you will constantly be trying to attract drama and being unsatisfied with peace. And the truth is, yes, you are here to help evolve the collective, and there will always be work to be done. So the more peace you can find within yourself, and the happier you can be sitting in peace, the more you'll then be able to help others, and they will come to you with their dramas and their problems, and you'll be able to really transmute it and transform it. And it won't feel like such a baby moon. It will be one of the wisest moons that you can find.